turn your phone off. It's Eric. Okay, yeah, we'll turn off my phone.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn it off. Everything will start ringing. Okay, disconnected. Actually, I should turn off my internet here. I don't think I need it. Or any notifications coming in. Just turning it off. Don't need it. We're live.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Okay. Any mic. Thank you. Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Dennis Feigler. I'm the program director of the product design BFA program at Montclair State University. This program have existed for 18 years or have been existing for 18 years. We have a very strong student body, very I guess rigorous what do we call this, what we teach, curriculum, yeah? Sorry, English is my second language, right? So, what do I, sometimes, I'm doing better in class though, so I don't stutter or there are no problems there. So, welcome everyone, welcome people online. They're probably busy designing something or living far, and that's why they couldn't come here. But definitely we appreciate the interest. There is a big, great interest. So over the 18 years, we probably graduated around, this is a rudimentary calculation, like 140 students, could be more a little bit, but maybe not so much. We have 6 faculty working with us, and they will come and, tell their experience, how they see the program, how we develop this together over the, and this is a very steady, group of professionals who teach. So the rigorousness of the curriculum is important. So we teach, we monitor what's going on in the industry. We teach design thinking, we teach human-centered design. We touch on technology, well, actually pretty decently touching on technology, so nothing is really conceptual. At the end, they have to be working designs. We believe that it's important that our students are learning through industry-sponsored projects, where if it's on campus, companies come to campus and they learn, they learn during class, or they're interning at companies. So we have a broad range of different companies. I just jotted down a few of them, like Siemens Medical, Ingersoll Rand, New Balance, Cobra Puma Golf. You probably know the golf and the Puma part of it. Nike, Samsonite, Movado Group. So it's a very busy thing what we do here. And students are very successful. So pretty much we have a 80%, probably 80% job success rate. And then they're winning competitions. So, so we just, students just won the first 3 places at the International Traffic Safety Symposium design competition. Obviously, it's, traffic safety. And we have several students who won merit awards from the Industrial Design Association of America. So again, welcome. And today is obviously the graduating classes day. But I'm going to give the mic to David Forage, who is going to introduce himself and tell you about the class. And he's been teaching how long?
This is my 9th year.
Ninth year. So there you go. Thank you for coming.
Let going to ask our faculty to come up on stage as well, just so they can introduce themselves. Yeah, my name is David Farage. English is my first language, so the pressure's on. Welcome everybody here who is physically present and those who are visiting us virtually. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us. As Dennis was saying, this is my 9th year teaching here at Montclair State in product design. And it's been a great privilege. And I've also this year been teaching freshmen. So I'm seeing freshmen and senior. I'm seeing both ends of the spectrum. So that's a great opportunity for me here for the first time. So this evening, just to kind of give you a run of the events, I'm going to introduce my colleagues here who have been teaching the students to date and those who are graduating over the last several years. I'm then going to invite a few of our alumni students to speak a few words of support of a program. And then we're going to run through with the senior presentations. Just another piece of housekeeping, have your mobile phones at the ready, because at the end of each student presentation, there's going to be a QR code. It's going to pop up on the screen for about 30 seconds, thereabouts. If you click on that with your smartphone camera, you'll have an interactive 3D CAD model to engage with for a few minutes. So that's going to run through each presentation. So I'm going to hand it over to Andrea, just so she can introduce herself and what you do and what you teach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Andrea Panico, and I have taught, this is also, I think, my 8th or 9th year here, and my background is in home furnishing, so furniture, lighting, tabletop. I have been teaching a variety of courses here. It's fluctuated a little bit over the years, but most recently I teach the freshmen, second semester freshmen, I teach form language, and then I teach first semester sophomores design sustainability. Yeah, that's it. And all of these students that are here presenting today, I had multiple times over the years, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to present.
I'm Joe Lombardo. I'm a designer at Movado Group, and I've been teaching here. Actually, this is my 10th year. See a lot of students that I've had in the past. I teach a few classes right now, just SolidWorks and our design visualization, which deals with a lot of the Adobe programs, but I've taught sketching in the past. Also on top of that, I am an alumni of Movado Group, of Montclair. So in the past 15 years, this program has been part of my life since the beginning, and it's great to see all the students have kind of grown, gotten jobs themselves, and I'm really proud to see what they've accomplished, as well as really excited to see what they're going to do today. And we have Dennis.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dennis Naxon, and I'm an industrial designer. I've been in the field for over 25 years. More than 12 years of those, I've been a design educator. I've taught at NYU. Now I've been teaching at Montclair, and I'm really happy to join this esteemed group of educators here on stage. And I've been teaching design thinking and user-centered design, the 2 classes. I'm taking, from the freshman level all the way to sophomore, and at the junior level, I'm also a designer at Ingersoll Rand, one of the companies that sponsors projects with the Montclair Industrial Design Department, and that's the junior level. And I'm looking forward to seeing the presentations tonight, and it's a great showcase for all the talent, and everybody who are here, all the students, I've known them since day one. Pretty much the freshman years. So good luck to everybody. Looking forward to your presentations.
So I'm going to invite 3 of our alumni just to speak just a few minutes before we actually kick off with the presentations this evening. There's Nicholas and Olivier and Oscar. Mike. Mike, do you want to join us real quick? Yeah, it's perfect timing. One more faculty just walked through the door. You just made announcements, so just...
Yeah, I was watching the live stream. We're up and running. My name is Michael Leiden. I am an adjunct professor here as well, Been teaching for about 6 years. I started doing freshman classes and sophomore classes. Excuse my breath, I just ran from the lot. Doing digital design sketching and traditional design sketching. The last 2 years, we're doing transportation design, which is a favorite of mine. Trends 1 and Trends 2, focusing on interior and exterior, and micromobility solutions for navigating personal mobility in the 21st century. So that's been really cool to see a lot of things. And actually, I know Doc just mentioned National Traffic Safety Symposium competition, where we placed first, second, and third. Students did actually get like cash awards as well. We got some cash as well. National recognition, huge deal for us as a program and for the school. That's pretty much all I have to say. Nick, good to see you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicholas Cadillo. I am an alumni from Montclair here. Went through the product design program, graduated 2 years ago. I have nothing but the best things to say about the program. I joined in not really sure what the future would hold for me and what I would be really capable of, but during my time here at Montclair, I really saw my skill sets really grow and skyrocket, and I had so many, great, helpful teachers, professors that helped my skills really grow, and I had my peers to lean on to really, go through the critical aspects of design and really, help me get into the position I am today. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to not only speak here today, but be an alumni of such a great program.
Hello, I am Olivia Vital. I am from the class of 2021, so I graduated with Nicholas. He's one of the few amazing people that I've met through this program. I was also very lucky enough to intern at Movado Group. This program has a very good relationship with that company, and through that internship, I was also able to get a job right out of graduation, and it was also really great to see pretty much my whole class get a job right out of graduating as well. So this program was very beneficial to not just me, but to my whole class, and I have nothing but great things to say about it. The relationships that I formed with my peers, as well as my teachers, and even some are my colleagues now, have been really amazing, and I'm just so grateful for this program.
Hey everyone, my name is Oscar Heredia. I graduated a year ago, class of 2022, and I'm an assistant designer at Movado for about a year. And forgive me because I'm trying to condense my experience in like 2 or 3 minutes, but I really see the value of this program, because apart from being, initially it's sort of theoretical in the first years, but there's like a shift, pretty within like your junior year, where you start working with actual companies, and that gives you sort of valuable experience to take into whatever you do after. And the faculty here, not just saying that because they're here, but they're the absolute best at what they do. And if it wasn't for their sort of their guidance and their sort of just passing down what they've learned as designers, and the collaborative aspect as well between the class, I think I probably wouldn't be designing, and I probably wouldn't be at Montclair. So really just nothing but the best to say for this program and what it teaches the students. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you all. Much appreciated. Okay, so we're actually going to start with the senior presentations now, and one by one the students will come up and present their work. We are going to have a short time at the end of the presentation for Q&A, so I will be passing, or able to pass, for those who would like to ask any questions, a microphone. So feel free to do so. Brian.
Good afternoon, faculty, former students, alumni, friends, family, and fellow peers. My name is Brian Walton, and today I'll be presenting my take on the future of footwear, sustainability, modularity, and opportunity. So we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. That was once said by Albert Einstein, and it's something I truly believe. To go on, 22 billion pairs of shoes were disposed improperly last year in landfills. This is a big issue because shoes could take anywhere from 40 years to a millennium to disintegrate in these landfills, and it's really affecting our climate. And I believe that we need to approach this situation from a different perspective. So for the process of making shoes, for rubber, it's taken from the rubber tree, which is soon to be extinct along with the cork tree. We use synthetic rubbers that come from oils, but that's still not a viable option for our future. The adhesives that we use, the synthetic leathers, all those materials do take effect on our climate, and I think we should start approaching footwear from a different perspective. So this is just to break down the life cycle of shoes. It starts off with extraction. That's where we extract the materials from our precious non-renewable resources. We're losing rubber trees at a substantial amount yearly, and like cork trees that are used for cork, their bark only grows once every 10 years. So it's pertinent that we try to keep the survivability of our ecosystem. Manufacturing is another issue. Depending on how the shoes are manufactured, they could take a large footprint on our carbon footprint. One of the processes for making soles is vulcanization that uses heat and a lot of adhesives, and that can raise the carbon level. Packaging is another issue. A lot of the packaging is over the top, and it's not sustainable. Some people like to keep the shoe packaging, but really, at the end of the day, we wear shoes to wear shoes. We shouldn't be keeping the packaging. Distribution is another issue. Between air travel and sea travel, it takes up a lot of the CO2, and we need to find a better approach to that. Use is obviously use. We all have feet or use shoes at some point in our life, and it's important that we keep in mind what we do with those shoes once it reaches its end of life. So my approach to this situation was to create modular footwear and have a direct-to-consumer relationship to create a bond with the consumer and to incentivize recycling footwear. These three personas represent the 3 point of views that I think we could all relate to. So Ahmad, he's 29, he's from Jersey City. He is a consultant and he's on his feet all day. He has to be on the move nonstop because if he misses the train, that could be the end of a business deal. Chelsea, she works from home. She's very much a solo life liver. She has friends. They see that she's a little interesting because she doesn't get out much, but she is interested in the world around her. And then finally, we have Anita. She's a restaurant owner, but also she works at home taking care of her family. She's the cross blend between a hard worker and somebody who truly cares about her family. And my product, I believe, could benefit all three of these people. So for my mood board, I was inspired by biomimicry, fluidity, and neo-futurism. These are things that stand out to me, and I think these coincide with my personas. one of the biggest inspirations towards my project is the glasswing butterfly and the metamorphosis process that it goes through. And I'll be getting a little bit more into that later, but there's nothing more beautiful than change and growth. So in the beginning of the process, I was kind of flustered, trying to figure out how I'd approach my concepts, but through time and sketching, I got closer to getting to where I needed to get design-wise with my concept. So this was a final concept that I had. The inspiration was from the glasswing butterfly, and it was an interesting process, but I was glad to reach my final concept, and now I would like to get into my product, the metamorph. So metamorphosis is a process of change and growth from one object transmuting into another. This could be seen from the process of larvae to caterpillar to cocoon to finally the glasswing butterfly. And I think that growth like that is important for everybody, and it's a beautiful process to go through. So here's my shoe, the metamorph. As I go through the renders, I'll explain a little bit more about the materials I use and how I got to it. So when I spoke about metamorph earlier and transformation, it all comes together with modularity. The shoe has a midsole that also doubles as the bottom half of a sandal, and I wanted to get the maximum usage possible out of the footwear. It also helps that this brings outside life into inside life, and a crossover is very much needed. Material-wise, I chose to use the least amount of adhesives as possible. I also use coffee-based bio leather instead of an actual leather. And the midsole and the outsole are comprised of sugarcane TPU. The lacing system is also made of hemp. I tried my best to stay away from synthetic materials that aren't able to be reused, but the good thing about sugarcane TPU is that it has a life cycle of 5 years, and it's easily recyclable. These are the mod sole sliders. My midsole, I call it the mod sole because it's modular, and I continue to use the coffee-based bio leather straps to go across the foot for use. And hopefully this animation explains my vision a little bit more. And here's my QR code if anybody would like to see the interactive model.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eden, and before I begin, I'd like to thank everyone that came here in person and virtually for attending. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Flex. Flex is a redesign of the traditional dumbbell. It's designed to promote safer and more convenient exercises with the technology of gyroscopes. The compactable, sustainable design features aim to boost comfortability, confidence, and motivation anywhere you go. There are added features that track exercise times, reps, and sets to facilitate an effective workout experience. Before I dive deep into the technology and the change that I incorporated in this concept, I had to do some research on the problem, the user, the competitors, the market, and finally the solution. Starting with the problem of traditional dumbbells are that when you use them during exercises, due to the weight in the material, there is a tendency for one to hold their breath, which causes increased blood pressure. There's also risks of getting hernias, which also follows with wrist strains, calluses, and which is mainly caused from the material being used and the weight of the dumbbells, as I mentioned previously, during alternating exercises. Lastly, they can be cost-effective, which you'll see later on in the market analysis. I began to invest my research further by asking some users about their personal experiences. This is Craig. He's a 25-year-old male who visits the gym regularly. His main target goals as he visits the gym are upper body, core, abs, and he owns his own adjustable weights. Something that Craig commented on was, I chose adjustable weights because of its compact dimensions. The only distraction is the sound of the metal clinging together when I use them. They're durable and strong, but due to the handle design, it's a bit restrictive for certain exercises, causing difficulty to perform. Another user I looked into was Caroline. She's a 56-year-old woman who's a personal trainer. She works with different types of clients that vary from different ages and has a home gym. Something Caroline detailed was, in my home gym, I have both traditional and adjustable dumbbells. As far as compatibility, the adjustable ones are more convenient. However, about 80% of my clients prefer the traditional design. My main concern is that the material, as I am more prone to getting callus on my hands from my intense training, which detriments professional and personal sessions. I continued further analyzing different designs that some competitors had on the market. First off is traditional, plate loadable, adjustable, and more recently, smart. These companies on the market are well known for their different designs, such as Bowflex is more known for their adjustables, Titan Fitness is more known for their traditional, and Rep Fitness is more known for their platable designs, and etc. Looking at it from a line graph, I compared their price points. Platable and traditional were less expensive and varied from $50 to $100, whereas adjustable and smart designs varied anywhere from $400 to almost $800. And what majority of the dumbbells have in the market have in common is the material they're made from. Comparing the different metals in this chart, stainless steel is the most common metal used, as it's known for its durability, strength, and least likeliness to rust. However, its rough texture and weight still causes problems for the user. Keeping all of this in mind, I finally present to you Flex. Its almost traditionally kept design gives users the opportunity to try something different, but still keeping the comfortability of what they're used to. The more effective technology built, and there's more effective technology built into this, which are the gyroscopes. Gyroscopes are devices with a spinning disc or wheel mechanism that harnesses the principle of conservation of angular momentum. And in English, that means the faster it spins, the more resistance it causes towards any outside force that challenges the direction of the spinning wheel. To generate these gyroscopes that are attached with 2 axes, they run on 3 AAA batteries to give the ultimate power of controlling speed and resistance. Due to the spinning clockwise rotation of the gyroscope, the user is counteracting the movement when lifting the dumbbell towards them, which causes the resistance between the user and the gyroscope. This causes the user to use more force to balance out the resistance, which imitates the weight factor without actually adding on any extra material or weights. It's your own force against its force. To build on the maximum potential of the imitation of weight, I incorporated a roller on the handle that adjusts the handle to expand and contract, which causes resistance as one has to balance this and the movement. As one adjusts the speed of the gyroscope and the expanding handles, this dumbbell can feel anywhere from 5 to 200 pounds. And remember, it's all your own force against the gyroscopes. They also have a magnetic feature which helps the user optimize different exercises like the hip thrusts below. This design also includes a display that is connected through an app via Bluetooth. This app allows the user to choose their exercises that present the opportunity for the dumbbells to adjust based on the assignment the user chooses. The display feature also has a timer for the exercise session, and with this, there's a glowing light that fills the display once the exercise is over. To keep the sustainable and comfortable design while using the dumbbells, the materials I used are polypropylene with an overmold of TPE grip textures for the handle, and for the exterior, it's PVC with a 60 durometer gauge covered with a clear TPE half-inch coating in any case of any impact, such as it falling or bumping into things. And in any case your phone dies or the Bluetooth connection is no longer in use for that moment, one function of this button is that it twists and adjusts to adjust the speed of the gyroscopes to compensate for that. And when you've reached your goals, simply press this button, and at the end or the beginning, and when you've reached your goals, simply press this button, and that's the end or the beginning of your successful workout experience. Flex.
First, I would like to thank everyone for being here today, in person and virtually. My name is Naya White, and I will be presenting my senior thesis, Dahlia, the Everyday Purse. So, purses that we see today seem to be copies or recycled ideas that we've seen over the past couple years. Purse designers seem to be more focused on aesthetic instead of the purse, trying to improve the purse by adding or reinventing the functions that's already there. There have not been any groundbreaking changes to enhance the bag that we currently use today. It's about time that we tackle these issues and truly think about what a bag should be. Okay, so here is my target consumer, demographic is comprised of busy women who are always on the go, balancing various errands and responsibilities in their day-to-day lives. Venturing out often requires little items like phone, your purse, your wallet, your medication, things like that, just to be able to carry out a day outside the home. However, it's often impractical to, of course, carry all these individual items around, so what we do is devise purses that serve as a comprehensive storage solution. Some of the problems that I came across while researching were they are prone to wear and tear, especially in the handles. we cannot clean them easily. They're in the insides, they sometimes stain, and then once they're stained, it's hard to clean. And if washed, machine washed, there's a chance of shrinkage and sagging, so the bag never looks the way it was in the first place. They often get cluttered, which makes things hard to find, of course, and some are overpriced just because of the brand name attached to it, instead of it being a better functioning purse than all the other ones out on the market. And then in most cases, they're not always secure with open tops. So with these problems, I decided to ask myself the question, how do I create a purse that can withstand everyday use and still be comfortable and make life easier for the user? Okay, so when I decided that I needed to think over deliverables, what did I really want this purse to encapsulate? So with this, I wanted to make sure that it was durable to be able to withstand the knocks and bumps of everyday life. I really wanted to focus on organization because clutter is a big issue when it comes to purses. Really give it, think about that and make that like the forefront of my design. Made mostly, if not all, of sustainable materials, just so when it does end up being thrown out or somebody's tired of it, at least it's not the worst thing out there polluting the earth. And then a simple design. I really would like this bag to be an everyday purse that matches what the user's wearing. I didn't want it to be too luxury where it didn't match with just running out to run some errands, or too basic where it doesn't seem like it matches with anything that you wear. And then here I have an opportunity to create a reliable purse that one can keep for years to come. Create a purse that can protect your belongings more efficiently than others on the market, and add functions to the purse to make the purse more user-friendly. Here, you can see my mood board. And for it, I went out and I decided that I needed to go out and see what purses are on the market, what's popular styles and popular brands, and see what people are really looking at nowadays. So through looking at all these purses and what really caught my eye to maybe incorporate into my bag, I felt like that overall, I wanted to create a simple purse that has a flap that can cover the opening of the bag, that is secure for a person to use without worrying about losing their items. Here is my competitor analysis. So here I decided to look at popular brands with added functions to give their purses one step up to other regular ones on the market. So one was Lily C. It's a small wireless phone charging purse. It's small, but it's able to charge one's phone from the outside or on the inside. While that is a strength, it's also very small. It's smaller than a standard bag. You can't carry much in it in case you need more than just your phone, keys, and a couple dollars and some change. Next, we have the Ever purse, which is another purse that has charging capabilities, but one issue with it is that it's open at the top. There's no form of closure, and it's a really big bag, so you just have this wide open space that if not paid attention to, you can quickly lose your stuff. And then it also has a charging feature, but to be able to charge your phone, you have to buy an adapter. An adapter only works for one type of phone, so when you go to the next iPhone, the one grade up, you have to get a new charging system for it in the bag, which kind of defeats the purpose and only really benefits the brand instead of like the user. And then lastly, we have the Jane purse. It is a vegan leather purse. So one plus, when I was looking at it, is a vegan leather purse, and it's a standard medium-sized bag. But while it is a traditional bag, it has the issue of its handle being really short to the point where it actually dug into the user's shoulder, and it made it uncomfortable to wear and use. Next, I went over my user research, where I went out and tried to figure out what people carry every day in their purse and what they like to have before they leave the house. So here you can see pictures of me laying out everything that 3 of my users usually carry around every day. And some common items that I found in my research were wallet, keys, medicine, makeup, self-care items, money, cards, phones, accessories, and feminine hygiene. And then some common issues that I asked them when it came to these purses is, I asked them questions about what problems they have with these purses, and some of the things that they had issues with were having a hard time, of course, finding items or organization problem, weak magnets, so it wasn't able to clasp very well, or you would have to intentionally look for the latch because it was so small. And then sometimes, of course, wear and tear, especially at the handles, where you can see pieces of the leather just coming apart as they go about their day. Next was exploration. Here, I really felt like that I needed to really plan out what I wanted to do and figure out the overall form of what my purse is going to be. So here you can see some basic forms that I went through, and then some latch ideas, and then the overall was the pockets that I might add, and then I also explored like where the pockets would sit, what is best for the user, and then an overall outside shape of my bag. And then after this, I went to some early models of what to incorporate in my bag. Here you can see a cardboard model, and then another model made out of cardboard again, but also leather. And after doing my exploration, I came to find that I wanted to incorporate these into my bag. First, a flap closure to block the opening of the purse. With a flap closure, it completely covered up the opening of the purse, where unless it's unlatched, you cannot get into it. And another one was a chain strap to get rid of wear and tear, so the wear and tear would not be on this chain strap because it's, of course, made of metal. And then there's the shoulder strap for padding. So instead of the hard metal chain being on your shoulder, there will be a padded shoulder strap, so it's comfortable to wear. Then we also have a curved flat, so that the user has more visibility when going into their bag. And then a non-traditional lock I also wanted to incorporate for make it harder for strangers to get into. If they can't first identify how to get into a purse at first glance, they're probably not going to try getting into it in the first place. Then accordion sections for more visibility to the user, being able to open it up in the back purse to widen its section so you can see what's in it would, of course, help with the visibility. And then separate pockets, once again, for organization instead of one big section for the purse. Next, I decided that I need to explore my tech pack and really figure out the shape of my bag, what is being incorporated, and just really get my design down. Here you can see a front view, a side view, and a back view of my purse. And the overall dimensions of this purse is 10 inches by 7.3 by 3 inches. Continuing my tech pack, I did a flat render of it where I'm figuring out the overall dimensions of it, where I'm figuring out the measurements, and I'm also figuring out where it bends and where the folds come to create the bag overall. And then lastly, I have this part of the tech pack where I really figured out the pockets, the sections, and the overall functions, like where the hardware will sit, and where the accordion sections will also, how that will be incorporated into my final design. Okay, and here is my purse. So here you can see a bill of materials of what creates Dahlia over here. Here it's mostly made out of Eco-PU, which is a vegan leather, and then the chain is made of aluminum, and then the strap is also made out of PU, Eco-PU. Next is the fidlock mechanism, which is made out of mostly ABS, with the actual lock being made out of aluminum and ABS to help attach it to the rest of the lock. Then we also have the wire. So this purse also has a function where it's able to charge one's phones. So with this, it's able to charge the phone from within the bag, so which I'll go into more a little bit later. But the charging functions, we have the battery, which is made out of ABS, then we have the wiring, which is copper, then we have the plate that the wiring sits on, which is granite, and then lastly, we have the cover, which is made out of natural rubber from rubber trees. So here are some inside images of my bag. So in these photos, you can see the sections of the bag. The front section of the bag will be for things like for miscellaneous things that you need easy access to. And then the back section would be for your wallet, your cords. The wall pocket on the back would be for the wall pocket would be for receipts, and then the zipper pocket would be for things like the medicine and feminine hygiene, which are things that people typically keep in their purses. Next is pictures of what the front of the purse looks like with the pockets on the front. And there's 2 sleeves for pencils, markers, or pens. There's a hook for keys, hair ties, or jewelry. And there is a charging pocket specifically for your phone, and then it could also charge earbuds from that pocket as well. And then finally, there is the small pocket, which is to hold cards or money or anything like that, and then a larger pocket to hold things like makeup cords and other miscellaneous items that you need quick access to. Okay, this is where I go more into the features that it has. So here is the lock. To ensure security, of course, the lock is necessary. In contrast to a traditional lock you find on common bags, Fid locks requires a 90-degree turn counterclockwise to unlatch. So the magnet inside makes it easy for the purse to close. So when you open it, it has an audible snap. So when it's open, you're going to hear it open. And then when the magnet will snap back into place, it will also have another snap. So if somebody's potentially does try to open your bag and does successfully turn the latch, you will hear an audible snap. So it would also be if somebody does get into it, you can hear them getting into it if it's on your person. Next is the portable charger. The charger is connected to the battery is connected to a charging base that runs through the leather to the front of the bag, enabling one to charge their phone from the front pocket. Also, from the side of the bag, you can also access the ports that would be able to charge the portable charger and also charge other items that you might have on your person. Then lastly, we have the shoulder strap, which is used to make the user more comfortable when carrying their purse, using the loops to hold the chain so it's not in direct contact with the body. So here is another picture of my purse a little bit bigger. And then here we have an image of it sitting on the shoulder. Here you can see that the aluminum chains run through attached to the leather strap and also run over the strap, so your body's not in contact with the chain at all, of course, for comfort. And then we also have the crossbody version of it where it goes across the body. Here's my animation. Here you can see the lock coming apart, a turn, then it comes apart, then it comes right back together. Next, you can see the charging ports from the side. Here's a view of the inside. And then lastly, the overall bag. So this is the everyday purse. Thank you for your time. Dahlia, it's time for a change.
I just wanted to say thank you for all of you that have come here physically today, and thank you for those who are viewing at home online. It's great to see, I'm so sorry. It's great to see all the new faces here. My name is Patricia Pashkevich, and I will be presenting my senior thesis concept design of a human-powered digit prosthesis called Digit A. So you may be asking, why design a finger? Why not design a hand or an arm or a leg? Why design such a small prosthesis? The simple answer is because there is a need. Every year, 30,000 people are rushed to the ER due to finger loss accidents. And in terms of congenital disorders, hand and finger anomalies happen to about 80% of those affected with ABS, including myself. ABS stands for amniotic band syndrome.
It's a condition where bands of tissues in the lining of the uterus wrap around a developing fetus and restrict blood flow. It can affect any appendage on the body, and in my case, I was born without a left index finger. Growing up, this is something that I didn't want to bring much attention to, and it's something I really struggle with as a kid. And in recent years, I inquired about a prosthetic for myself, only to become frustrated with the options that were available to me. Did I want to have a fully functional prosthesis that my insurance would cover, but was very robotic and unnatural looking? Or did I want a realistic, non-functioning prosthetic that would blend in, but costs over $15,000? This dilemma is what brings me here today, to introduce a human-powered digit prosthesis from the viewpoint of a designer and a user. My mission was to design a digit prosthetic that communicates and reflects individuality. I asked myself, how can I design a prosthetic with the approach that it is an extension to the user as opposed to a replacement of parts? I defined the main users, and this would include individuals with limb amputations due to trauma, and individuals diagnosed with limb loss at birth. I then defined my user needs in 5 areas. In terms of affordability, it shouldn't be more than $15,000. It should be much less than that. Users should be able to perform tasks without any kind of interference, such as tugging and falling, and have at least partial functionality. Physical comfort when in use is very important, along with durability and being able to withstand certain forces, stresses, and temperature changes. And lastly, contentedness is easily overlooked. Users are not only looking for aesthetics and experience, but emotional significance. In the competitive landscape, I broke things down into 2 categories, functional and cosmetic. Where functional prosthetics focus on functionality over appearance, and cosmetic prosthetics are made to look realistic and mimic real appendages to blend into the surrounding anatomy. On the left are some of the companies that make these kinds of prosthetics. During my research, I made 3 main observations. There's a physical requirement where 3/4 of the finger is needed for a single finger prosthetic. And if more than 3/4 of that finger is missing, a partial hand prosthetic is needed. Prosthetics often fall into one side of the full spectrum, whether that is fully lifelike with little to no function or completely mechanical with full functionality. There is also an implicit bias around prosthetics that they exist only to serve a function, which is to fill in missing parts. The problem with the physical requirement is that the partial hand prosthetics are often more costly and complicate the form, which can then limit and alter the aesthetic and function. The issue with the contrasting prosthetics is that it creates a limited range of options for the user and does not express individuality and self-expression. Lastly, the biggest issue with bias is that it communicates that prosthetics are a solution to a perceived problem that needs fixing. These personas reflect each one of the prosthetic pieces for different scenarios. The first persona reflects elements a user would seek for everyday wear, such as simple, delicate, and sophisticated elements. The second persona reflects elevated characteristics, such as chic and elegant elements one would wear for an occasion. The third persona exhibits edgy and striking elements that would make a statement. The mood board displays specific components that I wanted to incorporate into the design, mainly focusing on materials and human characteristics with attention to where you would find dynamic and static movement in the hand. During exploration, I investigated the movement of an existing finger prosthesis, where I discovered that there was a deficiency in the top joint, which hindered the way that the finger articulated. I created several models to test this dynamic variation and concluded that the functionality is dependent on how many pivot points there are on the finger. The model on the bottom demonstrates this implied movement. Ultimately, I went toward the direction of 2 pivot points because it displayed the most natural movement. During ideation, the main focus was to develop a way the prosthesis would articulate with using the adjacent finger to function by connecting the 2 with a ring. And how the socket would sit on top of the hand. In the first wave of prototypes, I created a preliminary form of part of the MCP joint and the upper phalange, where I connected the 2 with a magnetic ball joint that enables interchangeability. I used a coil wire as a double ring so that the prosthetic could follow along with the adjacent finger. The second round of prototypes included updated geometry. It included a base ring that connected to 2 digits, allowing the prosthetic to move without falling off. And here in this developed prototype is where I updated that geometry and really refined the silhouette a little more. And here we are. So this is the everyday colorway that features a small translucent ring, and it mirrors the movement of the adjacent digit. Excuse me. And I'm able to hold and grip things with the prosthesis, so like this water bottle. Here are some of the digital renderings that showcase the prosthesis and all of its elements. Here's a close-up view of the ring that is part of the digit. It comes with an engravement. In this particular case, it has the tagline, "Embracing Difference," which is actually customizable to the user, so they can have anything written on the ring. And on the right, you have a better view of the translucent ring and the rubber grip of the fingertip that works on touch screen surfaces. And here we have all 3 colorways with the elevated and statement piece in context. Having some difficulty playing the animation, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not working, unfortunately. But moving forward, the final thing I wanted to share was a quick slideshow that shows the user experience side of the project. And how the user would initiate the interaction via mobile application. You can actually scan your phone right now, the QR code on the top, to check out the website and the Digit A collection. So the user would be able to browse the selection, then select a model, select the missing digit, and then scan both of their hands with an IR software that's built into the app. It then gets sent off for manufacturing production for the final prosthetic. And there you have it, Digit A. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Gensler, and I'd like to thank you all for coming in today and those for joining virtually as well. Now, allow me to introduce you to Tinder Beauty, beauty that travels with you. So why design a beauty vanity? As an individual who loves to travel and is passionate about skincare and makeup, I believe it is important to create a more enjoyable and easier way for others who share the same passion. My mission today was to design a vanity that is easy to travel with and stores the items necessary for both the makeup and skincare process. In order to achieve my goal, I had to start with some research. First, I established what a typical user would be seeking in a vanity. I determined that the needs would be organization, directionality, harmony, duality, transportation, compactness, simplicity, and of course, a mirror with proper lighting. Based off of the user needs, I identified 3 main issues that a user encounters when owning beauty products. The first is disorganization. Products sometimes don't seal correctly and then dry out, causing extra waste, and this then causes unnecessary repurchasing. This then increases the risk of depression and anxiety, and in cluttered environments, it increases higher cortisol levels, the stress hormone, making it harder to focus. The second is capacity, meaning not enough space in the home. This means that the user resorts to makeup bags, which easily gets cluttered, or they purchase smaller vanities that may not fit all products. Last is aesthetics. Many are Victorian style vanities and may not fit all people's tastes. The smaller plastic vanities are cheaper looking and break easily while traveling. A part of my research was going out to stores and observing how makeup is placed in the aisles. And with this, I learned that rectangular shaped products are easier to pack in tighter spaces and that cylindrical products are packaged in rectangular boxes, which causes more waste. To help guide myself in a more focused direction, I created 3 personas. The beginner, who doesn't know much about makeup or skincare but would like to learn more. The intermediate, who does makeup and skincare regularly but lightly. And the pro or expert, who does intense makeup looks and uses skincare products religiously, the makeup enthusiast. To get a better understanding of capacity, I created a list of makeup and skincare products that would be the bare minimum for the pro user. Items from the makeup category include primer, foundation, concealer, and more. And from the skincare, cleanser, moisturizer, serums, etc. With this background information in mind, I started my ideation phase. I created a mood board to draw inspiration for the products. I was inspired by soft rectangular forms and how the products connect with each other. I created a second mood board for the vanity inspiration. I was inspired by a lot of Dieter Rams's products and his philosophy of less but better. Then I started to ideate and prototype, where I asked myself, how can I utilize the space of one product to fit 2? The simple answer was to divide the forms in half. With this answer in mind, I determined my form language to be soft, rectangular, and triangular shapes, which allows for all of the contents to fit together, allowing for this marriage concept where products can be paired with other similar products. And now that my form language was determined, it was time to focus on prototyping the vanity. So I developed 3 initial prototypes where I concluded that the angle on the left of the prototype on the left is preferred for the optimal lighting and visibility through the mirror. In the middle, it shows how the mirror needs protection, and the last image shows how the split angle fits with the form language of the rest of the products. Incorporating the mirror angle, mirror protection, and split angle, I was able to develop the finalized prototype where 2 triangular halves meet to form one soft rectangle. And on to my finalized design. Here's a digital render of the vanity in an environmental setting. The image on the right shows how all the products form together uniformly in the vanity. All the products magnetically attach to the tray and to their partner. For example, the day and night serum, which are coordinated based off of light and dark colors as well to indicate when to use which products. Behind the mirror, the area is utilized for any makeup tools and items that aid in the skincare process. For example, cotton rounds or Q-tips. There are multiple size brush heads that attach to one brush base to eliminate the need for multiple brushes. There are 3 size options for the vanity, representing the pro user, the intermediate user, and the beginner. The pro vanity is the size of what I built today, and the beginner vanity would be half that size. Here's the vanity in an open and closed position, displaying how compact it can be when not in use. Here's a bill of materials. The vanity top, the vanity bottom, the strap, and the hinge are all made of aluminum. The light is an LED light. The mirror is a mirrored acrylic. The strap grip is a soft TPU material. The strap dials are stainless steel, and the products itself are high-density polyethylene, polyurethane, and frosted glass. Here you can see how all the materials come together and function. And here's my model. The vanity opens and a tray slides out to reveal the products. The mirror flips up for more storage, and in order to adjust the lighting, you simply tap and drag on the hinge here. You can have a cool tone lighting or warm tone lighting. And when you're done, simply push the tray back in and close the vanity, and the beauty will travel with you. Thank you for your attention.
I just want to welcome the students back up on stage, just another round of applause on a great presentation. We're just about an hour in. We have some time for some Q&A. If you'd like to, those in the audience, ask any questions, now is your opportunity to do so, and I can pass a mic around the studio. After the Q&A, we can invite you onto the stage to take a closer look and ask some more questions if you'd like. And also, we'd like to invite you to a small reception right outside in the lobby for some light refreshments. So feel free to mingle, but if any of you have any questions right now, now is your opportunity to ask. Okay.
First off, fantastic presentations, all of you, really great. I love the work that everyone did. I've got a question for Digit A. The hinge, the ball joint, how does that work? How is the edge of the prosthetic attached to the part that secures it to the hand?
So you're talking about the bottom part of so this part?
Yeah, like the silver part, that joint.
So this is actually, it's not adhered. There's another magnet, so technically you could take this off, and the top phalange has a neodymium magnet, and the ball joint is a chrome steel. So they're attracted to one another. And you can take it off, switch it, and there shouldn't be any interference.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Once again, just want to say congratulations to all you guys. I'm sure everybody agrees the work here was more than impressive. Specifically for Brian, I've been talking to you since the beginning. I've had the privilege of seeing you go through the design process, and I've always loved the idea of biomimicry, so that stood out to me, especially with the metamorph. I just wanted to ask you, what was the main kind of challenge when coming up for the design, especially when looking at it? For me, it looks really organic, and it has a nice flow to it. What were the challenges that you faced through the design process?
So personally for me, I think all the processes were quite difficult, just in different ways. I had to truly think outside the box with some of the concepts, but to explain it a little bit better, I believe that the hardest part for me personally was just coming up with the concepts and getting that creative flow. I do have an issue of trying to be a perfectionist at times, and when things don't go right, it just snowballs. So it took a lot of time and a lot of criticism for me to finally get to the final form. And after that, like once you get to the final form, I feel like as if the wheel just keeps on rolling, and it gets easier from there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, question for Eden. How do you change the batteries in Flex?
I don't know if this works. That's a great observation. I don't think I went too deep into that, but if I were to go back now, probably I would add a little like hinge or something in the middle part of it, so I could remove it and then replace it that way.
Hi, this question is also for Brian, but on more technical sense. So you said it was like the onsole, I believe is what you called it? The
mod sole.
Yes, the mod sole. So that's housed within the shoe, right?
Yes.
Like in the inside of it. So and you would take that out in order to utilize it. So how easy would it be to remove that from the inside in order to is it like kind of like a seamless process? Like how intensive is it to actually take it out?
So in the design, I have where the laces come through,
yeah,
that goes to the mod sole and also attaches to the outsole. There's these, it's kind of like buttons. I don't really know how to explain it. It's an organic form.
Yeah.
But essentially you'd squeeze it, and once you squeeze it, they would fold inside the outsole, and you could just easily pull the mod sole out of it.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Did you discuss this? So one question from one corner of the room and the other question from the other corner of the room. You see, I need the exercise.
So I have a question for Amanda. Would the products be like separate or would they come with the packaging?
So the products would come separate, but depending on if you are the pro user, beginner user, intermediate user, you can customize which products that you necessarily want and then customize the tray itself. So if you have products from another line that are cylindrical, you can make space on the tray and create cut extrudes in the tray for the cylindrical products to be placed in there with my line itself as well.
Yeah, of course. Coming, honey.
So I had a question for yours again. Would the actual bottles itself, will the user be able to refill them or will they have to purchase a new one every time?
So the user can refill them. That would be part of the whole brand itself with the website. The tray and the bottles themselves are customizable. So once you run out, it can be like a subscription service where you get refillable packages.
All right, thank you.
I have a question about Flex. I was wondering how long the batteries would actually last, considering like an average workout, let's say, if you go for a shorter one, like maybe 45 minutes or so, around how long would it last? Would it last the whole session, maybe even 2 sessions?
So it would last pretty long, considering there's also 3 batteries in it. But a typical workout only lasts maybe, honestly, like at the shortest 30 minutes up to maybe 2 hours if you're like, a bodybuilder or something. But they last a pretty long time. And like Miss Panico said over there, she pointed out how I didn't have like a recharge or like to add in new batteries if it ever dies, but it has a pretty long like lifespan, considering also that the workout is not that long.
Awesome, thank you.
I have a question for the bag for Dahlia. Do you think this type of technology would easily translate to more other bags, like messenger bags? Let's say like a bag for vacationing.
Yes, I think you'll definitely be able to be able to be done in messenger bags specifically. I also was working on a messenger bag separately for my internship, and they kind of went hand in hand, and the ideas kind of came together, and I honestly do believe that it would be able to be transferred, especially if you just think of this as a bigger bag overall and make a couple changes, like adding a more durable strap for heavier things like laptops and stuff like that. So yes, I think it would be able to be transferred into bags like of that size.
Thank you.
This is a question for Digit A. Do you think that this type of technology or system would be able to be implemented for other sorts of limbs, like outside of the fingers?
Great, I was waiting for this question. Absolutely. The only thing is that this concept is dependent on an adjacent finger. So if the individual is missing more than one, depending on their situation, it would be adjusted and designed for their needs. And it's something to mention, every single prosthesis is custom made, so it absolutely is possible.
This is a question for Flex. So I'm just trying to figure out the whole gyroscope mechanism. So you say that you have like an app, right, that you're able to adjust settings. So would you be able to, like, let's say I wanted to like make like these dumbbells like 60 pounds, right? So would I go in there and just kind of like type in 60 pounds and the gyroscope would update to like compensate for what I'm asking? Or would I have to like lift it in order for it to increase like speed and then weight? Or how would that entire thing work?
So the app was really if you were, let's say you wanted to work out, or there would be like various or different types of workouts for this. So I don't know, let's say you want to do one for like only 3 minutes. Then you would click the 3-minute workout, and depending on how fast that workout specifically is or how apart the handle would like extrude out, that would automatically adjust via Bluetooth from that. But in any case that you didn't want to use like the app and you just wanted to use it yourself, I mentioned that there was like a little handle over here where you would use with your thumb, and that would adjust the extrusion of how far you want the dumbbell to like be apart, like the handle. And then as far as like the gyroscope spinning inside, if you wanted to adjust that as well, this little button right here is not only like a power on and off button, but you could also twist it to adjust the speed of how fast you want it to go.
Okay, cool.
So I have a question for Digi A. In your presentation, you made some remarks about the price range of usually like prosthetics and things like that. So I wanted to know what would be the price range of your product?
That's a great question. I think it would be dependent on the means of manufacturing, if this is something that's being done by one individual or it's being created by a team. It also depends on if this is being outsourced or if this is the materials and components are being made with personal resources. I think at the end of the day, the price would be determined by not only materials used, but also labor.
Thank you.
Hey, Patricia, follow up on that. We had a guest speaker in my class a couple weeks ago who's, were you there? Did you sit in on that?
I missed it by an hour. I'm so sorry.
So one of the things that he talked about was the intensive personalization involved. And it seems like, maybe I'm wrong, correct me, like this might be a little bit slightly less personalized. Is that kind of what you envision, or like how much, I know you said there was an app, you touched on this, that maybe scans the hand. Is that the extent of the personalization? There's no sort of like individual meeting that the person has to go to face to face, or is that what you envision? Or
yeah, so I feel like the inquiry process, so like the way that the user would go through the whole purchasing process definitely would need to change a little bit. I was thinking about the same exact thing. But they should be able to pick and choose what they want the prosthesis to look like, how it would feel. So I feel like it would definitely benefit there being some kind of interaction between the user and the prosthesis before it's actually sent out. So I think it would be interesting to have prototypes of different materials and different silhouettes sent out prior to any purchase.
Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your questions.
So, I just invite you to come up on stage and to mingle outside into the reception area. Just one more round of applause for our esteemed students, please. Yeah, we really appreciate your presence here today, and for those who are visiting us virtually, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to our students. Thank you once again. Thanks.